Hello, I've just spent the most lovely day in London seeing an old school friend and just having a delightful time. And oddly, having thought that nobody would recognize me, I was quite surprised to be identified and charmed. And it was just lovely. And on the way, I've been reading some autobiographies. There's one by Miriam Margolyes and one by Gyles Brandreth, both well worthwhile, and another one by Andrea Leadsom. And it's the Andrea Leadsom one, Snakes and Ladders, which I suppose draws my real attention today because Andrea Leadsom is the campaign manager for Penny Mordaunt, and Penny Mordaunt is having a very, very tough time at the moment. The black ops operation to discredit her is out in force, and it is foul, objectionable, and wrong. There's a story after story saying that she's incompetent, that she's useless, that she doesn't do her job, blah, 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 blah. I think all of it fairly fake, but all of it probably having an effect, and all of it designed to boost the chances of Rishi Sunak, who doesn't stand a chance of actually being voted by the Tory faithful, and also to boost Liz Truss, that the nadir of Foreign Secretary competence, the lady who really should have gone to Mrs. May. Mrs. May read geography in Oxford. Mrs. May would know where Rostov-on-Don was. But that's probably the only thing Mrs. May would know. But anyway, Andrea Leadsom, in her book, she comes across as so mumsy and so lovely and so warm, and that's certainly not the experience that I had. She was my MP. I also stood against her. And I remember going to see her the first time to discuss with her the issue of student visas, which I thought then, and I still think today, are abhorrent. So many students who come from other countries to study in the UK, whether for school or for university, suddenly find themselves stuck trying to renew their visa halfway through their course. And in many cases, they're then forced to go home to see their course paused, and they often miss exams and important lectures and so on. And why is this the case? It is such an insensitive and ill thought out system, and it's so difficult to appeal and to get proper support and help. And this for a system which really should be seen for what it is, which is soft diplomacy. We want people to come to this country, to be educated, to share our values, and to be our friends, and to go back and promote our values and our opinions around the world. And certainly we don't want them to have this awful feeling that they have been fleeced, and the moment they get their degree, they're thrown out of the country. This is equally abhorrent. So we need to revise the way we do this business, because education is big business in the UK. And it's one of those things that we do well, and potentially we make a lot of money out of it, but the government leaves us limping most of the time because of this visa situation and because of the way education is structured, this hostile environment devised by Mrs. May, which hasn't actually got any better. Now, when I went to see Andrea Leadsom, this lady who paints herself as so mumsy and lovely and warm and listening, wouldn't let me get a word in edgeways, and she hectored me for fully 20 minutes before leaving me to go on my way. And so I wrote back to her and I said, look, when your constituents come to you, they're the ones who should be doing the talking and you should be doing the listening. And she suggested that I should testify at a committee and that I should speak to Mrs. May. And I must say, I didn't find any other MPs very ready to listen. But that doesn't mean that Andrea Leadsom's approach was correct. I think it's wrong, and it certainly doesn't suggest that she has this warm, cuddly image, which is the one that she presents in her autobiography. So of those three very, very readable autobiographies, the one that comes across as pure, unmitigated fiction is Andrea Leadsom's. And the one that comes across, oh, incidentally, you've got to see this. The one that comes across as probably the most entertaining read that you can ever have, most entertaining and shocking read that you could ever have, is this one here by Miriam Margolyes. And, if you've ever seen Miriam on the sofa with Paul Schofield and breakfast television, or with Graham Norton, I mean, she is naughty. She is naughty and shocking and rude. And she's so much worse in print. I mean, if she's the person that that you wheel out on a dry news day to make your sofa moist, she is literally dripping with wickedness in the pages of this paperback. In fact, I don't think I ever read anything that raised my eyebrows so much for a long time. But I turned the pages with a giggle and a smile. Be warned, it's strong stuff, but so much more readable, frankly, than Andrea Leadsom's. But as a piece of fiction, Andrea Leadsom has done a very good job.